Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be our second video on our Silly Surfers series. We're just going to be gluing this thing together. So, let me show you this here. If you look at the instructions, there's not much to them. Looks like they've got you kind of doing the base, the accessories, then his upper body, and then the pelican bird. So you kind of do what you want with this, obviously. So I'm going to start with the base. As you can see, I've already cut everything off of the sprues. I didn't think you needed to see me do that again. And then on the base, we just need to get the medium one here. And just kind of go around the whole edge of this. This is the same way I did the other one that I built, so it works, I know already. No surprises here. Okay, so there's that. And then next up, we are going to just work from the bottom, I guess. We'll start with his feet. So there is a specific way that his feet go together. And if you want them to look really good, you will want to glue these on separately. But as you can see, they fit together really well, which is nice. So no worries there. So we'll just get on this. Yeah, so like 90% of what you're going to be doing right here, it's just going to be, God, just glue and clamp. I mean, you don't even really need to clean anything up. Which is one of the nice things about these kits. You are really going to feel accomplished with just the tiniest little amount of work you put into it on the bench here. Because this is going to go really fast. And then the other good part is, you don't really have to do a lot of work to get these to turn out nice. So not a whole lot of cleanup on them either. So just once you get them to glue, oops, a little bit of glue right there, that's fine. I mean, these are going to get a lot of sanding done to them. Clamps. These aren't a real brain teaser, which is nice. I mean, I just got done doing that Model A kit, and that was the super fun kit. It just a little bit bigger kit, a little bit more, a lot more intricate in the paintwork and stuff that I was doing on it. So it's nice to have something to just kind of clear your baffles and get back into the groove of building. So, okay, there's his hand. There's the other part of his hand. That's his hair. And again, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what parts you're gluing together, just as long as you get them all banged out here. Now, the one thing you are gonna want to kind of start to do right from the beginning is figure out what all you're doing as far as paintwork goes. you know, what color's he gonna be? Are you gonna do him, you try to make him look realistic, or are you gonna just kind of be funny? Like when I did the Beach Bunny one, I tried to make her look like real sunburn. So I tried to do kind of a skin tone, but have a real red overtone to it. This guy, I think I'm just gonna do him a really dark tan color. This looks like he's been hanging out at the beach for way too long. Now on these, you of course want to get them as close as you can. There's a little spot right there where it's kind of got a gap in it. We'll come back and fix those. That's not a big problem. I mean, literally all you're trying to do right now is just get parts glued together. That's it. You want to make sure they fit a little bit, but realistically, you're going to end up doing a lot of sanding on these. So you don't need to be too super. You don't need to be too super technical about it. I mean, like that doesn't fit real great, which is fine because that's going to get a lot of work done to it anyway. So no big deal. Yeah, that's the fun of these. They're easy enough to work with. You don't need to stress too much about them. Okay. Just gotta get the glue onto the seams, that's all. Then when I'm done here, I'll come back and I'll show you some of the ways that I do to clean these up a little bit. Okay. Okay. Got his arm here. Now the one thing I liked that they did was they made his hands, at least on this arm, they ran them far enough to make it where his hand's just going to glue onto the end of the sleeve, which means you don't have to mess with masking it off or anything. Which I know seems like a simple enough idea, but you'd be surprised how some of these are put together. And one of the other things I like about these kits is they're so different from anything else you do. I mean, unless you're a figurine modeler, they're not close to anything else you do. You can have a lot of fun with these and take a break from whatever else it is you normally build, which is what I find nice about them. Okay. Okay. It's clam. Ooh, eyeballs. How funny is that? Okay, now on his head, because of the way his hair comes down, it kind of covers his eyes. So that's going to be a little bit of a fit it before you glue it thing, so we'll get on that here in a minute. First we got to get his head together. And then it's stuff like that also that I think makes these really interesting. You know, you got to think through them a little bit, and I don't know. I think they just, I don't know, I feel like as soon as I started doing figurine kits, I kind of became a little better at what I was doing with the models. I know it made me think about how stuff fit together a lot better. You know. Kind of keeps you on your toes. You have to make sure that stuff's lined up when you initially glue it. You got to make sure it looks good when you clamp it together. You know, make sure lines all line up and everything gets sanded out. And so I like them. That's why I like them. Plus, as I've already said, it's just different from anything else you build. So nice little break from the normal stuff on the bench. Okay, so that's his head. Yeah, okay. Okay. So yeah, that needs cleaned up just a little bit to fit, which I'm not gonna do. I'll do that in the next video, where we talk about sanding stuff down and stuff. That's so cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, as I was saying earlier, I kind of felt like I became a little bit better modeler, and part of the reason I think I felt that was because once I'd done a couple of these, and it was like, you're not, like, I don't know. Sometimes when I build cars, I get a little too bogged down in some of the detail stuff. So it's like, oh, that should be this color silver, and then the rest of that should have been black, and you know, I would get bogged down and stuff like that. And with these, it's like, it's whatever you want, you know. There's no, I mean, they don't even have a paint guide on these kits. It's just, here's your box art, and it's just up to you on how you want to make that kit turn out like that. So for me, it kind of turned into like a mental exercise of, you know, just get it done. How are you going to get it done? Because you're not going to have to come back and do this in a specific way, you know. So anyway, that's what I like about them. Plus, they're fun when they're done. But you can really, I mean, you can really let your creativity fly with these. If you really do it, you can do a lot. So these are crushed cans, and this is just stuff that goes on the beach, which I'm going to do because I think that's kind of funny. I love this clam. That's so funny with the eyeballs. And then that's the other thing with these. You can kind of do as much or as little as you want. When I did my other one, there was a lot of stuff that came in that box I didn't use. I tried to keep everything just kind of together with what was on the base and what I could fit on the base. Okay, and these are all the pop cans. Obviously there's 6 of those. I don't think I need to bore you with showing you how to do all of these, but I will demonstrate one of them. Now I noticed on these when I was playing around with them, I don't know if it'll pick it up on the camera, but there is on the top there's a little bit of a lip. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do that as the top. We'll flatten that out, and then we'll paint the base Coke red, and then we'll paint that aluminum, and then we can just pop them in here. And since you really don't see much of them, I actually don't plan on putting any of those decals on there. I will on the container, but the actual cans, I don't think I'm going to mess with them. I'm just going to leave them kind of as is. Okay, so there's that. And like I said, I'm not going to bore you with doing all 6 of those. Yeah, and I mentioned this earlier. I don't think I finished my thought, but you're supposed to have cans strewn around them and stuff, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do the bottle opener either that they give you. You don't need that. Well, I don't know. I might. That thing's kind of cool. I mean, you know, if it's cool, I might. So it's got a little pin on it right there. It looks like this is pretty detailed. I might leave it laying. Might leave it like laying down kind of between his feet or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I know if I do use it, I'm going to cover it with Maltel Chrome. That's for sure. Okay, so that's pretty much, I mean, it really was that simple. That's pretty much all you're doing right now. Just all your major assemblies. Then you kind of got to decide on what you want to do from here. So first things first, this thing's got some injector pin marks on it that need to come out. And I know those are going to be kind of hidden by the handle. I mean, if you did that so it faced him the way he's holding it, yeah, you never see those, but still, it's always good practice to Make sure you clean all this stuff, all stuff like that up. Okay. Easy way of cleaning those off is here. And see, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. I mean, get a little bit of practice doing the cleanup on this stuff, and you know, when it comes to doing it on what you normally build, you're going to be like, well, that'll be easy enough. Kind of makes some of the work you do with the plastic seem a little easier. Okay. Okay. I bet that's shaking the camera, sorry. Yeah, I shouldn't do it that way. Okay, look at that. There we go. Okay, oops. Now I'm going to come over that with one of these fine sanding discs, or sanding sticks. Okay, do the back side of it here. Okay, and then we'll do the outside edge of it, and that'll be that. Okay, so kind of the same thing here. You just want to come back in and kind of clean up the scratches where we hit it with that medium pad earlier. Now, of course, this is all pre-primer, so you don't really need to be like super glass smooth with it. Of course, the smoother you are with it, the better your finish is going to be, but given the fact in real life these were just kind of bang together wooden boxes, I don't think you're really trying to knock this thing out of the park on finish. But it's up to you. I mean, you can do them how you want them. I'm sure, you know, you wouldn't go wrong with making that thing super nice. But yeah, so this is kind of where we're at with it. Just gotta clean it all up. Actually, I am not gonna bore you with that too much. You don't need to see me clean up most of this stuff. Well, let's see. Okay, let me run through this for just a second. So we got this done. That's actually ready to primer. I know you don't want to see me do those or that. Okay, let me turn off the camera for a minute, and I'll go through all this, and then I'll figure out what I want to show, and we'll start working on that. Okay, so the inside of his arm here. So I cleaned up the outside of his arm. That looks good. The inside right here, though, you can see where all those folds of his jacket are, and they don't quite match across there with that seam line. That's where this comes in handy. I got this from Amazon. It's Topek. I don't know who makes them, but it's just a little miniature file set, and that thing's filthy. Sorry, I need to clean that out. I didn't realize that was that bad. Holy cow. That's kind of embarrassing. Anyway, round one, you're gonna love these. It's got that little tip on it, so if you come in here like so, okay, and you really can't mess these up, to be honest. I mean, it's not a real fine line that you're working with, so you're okay. Okay, then your next tool here is going to be this triangular one. I love this because it's got an edge right there. You could cut into stuff. Okay. So yeah, so you're gonna love this. I use this a lot for cleaning up interior parts. Like if you have maybe you had a pleat in your interior that ran down just like that, this is exactly the same technique you'd use on that. If you do military models like tarps and stuff, exactly the same technique. Then I like the round because you can use it on a little bit. That's a little bit of a concave. It's got a little bit of a dish to it. Okay. And the rest of this you can just fill out with the sanding pad. And that's the other thing. Once you've got them kind of filed to shape, you can still come back in and clean them up. But yeah, so see how good that looks. We'll get some primer on that. I'll show you how really good it looks. Again, with this, since we got to fit this to his head, you're going to start by cleaning up his nose. Okay, that's good for right now. He's got that line right there. Again, triangle comes in. You can use the flat edge to clean up that little seam right there. Yeah, look, see, there we go. It's looking better already. And an undercut right there on his lip. There we go. We're gonna really have at this side here. And on these figurines anyway, don't really be afraid to cut into the plastic. It shouldn't give you too much trouble. Well, I mean, most kits are made with pretty stout plastic, so, but you be careful. I don't know. I don't want to be like, yeah, get with it, and then be like, well, no, don't really get with it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, see again. Get that back in shape. That little sprig of hair on the back of them kind of rolled over the way they want it to be. There we go. And you can see how I'm just coming across that line. You just gotta shape it out, see, and then that left a little dish right there. Just follow it with this, and there you go. So these are just regular files. You can see the little teeth cut into it. It's how it's really rough. Then they also, the other side of this is these are like little sanding sticks. They have that grit on them. So these are nice for like final, for almost like a filing, or not filing, almost like a sanding stick. You can come in and really get with them with these, and they're really nice. You know, as you use them, you'll get them figured out. Like everything else, it's just a little bit of practice. But you know, I mean, see how fast that went. And this doesn't fit. So his hair's fine if you kind of jam it on there, but I don't want to try to do the crush version of that, so it needs to be cleaned up just a little bit right there. And yeah, like I was saying earlier, you know, new automotive stuff, this is kind of some of the interior work. If you do military stuff, it's kind of some of the accessory stuff. You know, you'll if you do these, you'll see how they interact with what you normally build, and you'll catch on, you'll get it. Oh yeah, oh yeah. There we go. Okay. Again, like I said, there's a tiny bit of gap right there, but don't worry about that right now. We are really not worried about that. And then there's the other thing you're going to run into every now and then. As soon as I started putting glue on that and putting pressure on it, all those little edges that were sticking up and making it not fit kind of gave way. Yeah, that's all nice and sealed up there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If I kind of bring his hair forward, it fixes that gap around his nose. Okay, and then here's another trick. If you go back over where you did all the filing and sanding and stuff, a little bit of glue. It's gonna knock some of that roughness out of it. Okay, so the only thing we have left is that right there, and that we can fix really easy with some putty. So that's it. I mean, yeah, that's all this is. It's just figuring out what you need to fix and how you're gonna go about doing it. You know. And like I said, once you start working with them, you'll figure out how to best utilize the stuff you're doing here to work on what you normally build. So I'm not going to bore you with any of the rest of this. I think you've seen enough to see, you know, just the triangle in on that. If you want to round that back out, you just round it out a little bit. You know, however you want to do it, you're trying to just make those match up as best you can. Because you're just trying to clean that line up on his collar so it matches. Yeah, I love these files, man. I love them. They work great. Ah, crap. I just dropped that. Oh, well. I'm not going to worry about it then. So anyway, let me turn this off and finish this up, and then we'll come back and I'll show you a little bit of how I try to get these put together before I start painting them. And then we'll get on to the next video with the painting portion of this. Okay, so I put about, I don't know, hour or so, I guess, into it off screen. We got everything all cleaned up. Everything's looking really good. And we are in the initial stage of having it finished. So now we're going to come in and we're going to primer everything. I'm using Super Primer Gray. That's going to be in the next video. I just wanted to talk about this for a second. So anyway, we're at the stage where we're going to primer it, and then the primer is going to tell us the little bit more work that we have left to do. Like I can see there's some spots that are going to need some work on there, but that's fine. That's what the primer is going to be for. And then when we're done primering it, then we're going to group everything together and we're going to start painting color on stuff. So like basically all these are all going to be kind of skin tone color. Yeah, that's its own color. That's red. Those are also going to be, it's all that stuff's going to be Coke red. You know, this is going to be a pink color. I've also decided not to use a lot of this other stuff just because it doesn't really fit on the base very well. And so I'm just going to put the starfish back here. This is just going to be sand yellow. I'm going to paint it the same color I did the other one I did, so they'll match together. But that's it. So we're going to be doing paint work on the next video. So I will show that then. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, just leave a leave a comment here on YouTube, or you can email me, scalefinishes@gmail.com. And if you use code YouTube10 at scalefinishes.com, you get 10% off all your paint. So you can get your primer and your same colors I'm using on this. And thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.